Hello and welcome. In this video, we'll be using Python to create a face recognition application straight from your webcam. We're going to go ahead and install the virtual env dependency. This is going to allow us to create an environment specially for this project. So we run virtual env, and the name of the environment, in this case, I'm just going to call it venv. And as you can see, it creates a folder inside the project. Now this folder is going to contain all dependencies, and in order to activate it, we're going to run venv scripts activate. This is for Windows users, and now all commands we run are going to apply in this environment. Now let's create a file. We're going to call it requirements.txt, and we're going to paste in the dependencies we need for this project. I'm going to leave them in the description. Now let's run pip install cmake, and this is going to install cmake in order for us to compile the dliv dependency. Then we run the command to install all dependencies inside the requirements.txt file. Now this can take a couple minutes, so I'm going to leave it here, come back in a second. Now we run pip install face recognition and opencv python to install both of these dependencies that we're going to need for the project. I'm going to drag and drop a picture of me, and I'm going to use it in a second. But first, let's import opencv in the Python file and create a video capture instance that is going to be receiving video from source 0, which is our webcam. Now we create a while loop that runs indefinitely, and we read the frames and check if the read was valid. If it was not valid, we just break the loop, but if it was valid, then we're going to go ahead and show it in a new window. So we pass in the frame and the name of the window, and we also need to add this conditional statement that basically tells the dependency what key we need to press in order for it to stop. So in this case, I'm gonna just select Q as my key, and when Q is pressed, we break the loop and we end the application. Now let's test this out. We run it with Python main.py, and here I am. Now we need to import the face recognition library right on top, and we're gonna load the image I added to my files a minute ago. And to do this, I'm going to use the face recognition dependency, and I'm going to use the method load image file with the name of the file, just like this. Then we get the encoding out of my face in the image, and for this we run face recognition dot face encodings, and this is going to return all encodings from the image we loaded. I don't need all encodings, I just need the first one, so I'm going to select number 0. And then inside the loop, once we validated the frame, we need to resize it. I'm going to resize it to 1/4 of its size, like this. Then we need to convert from BGR to RGB. So we run this function. Now the frame is prepared. We need to first take the locations of the faces in the frame with the face locations method, and we pass in the RGB small frame, and then we need to get the encodings for every face location. And for this we use face encodings. We pass in the same frame, but this time we also pass in the face locations in the frame. It's going to return the encodings, so we're going to loop through every encoding it finds in the frame, and we need to compare it to the encoding from my face we did on top. So I'm going to use the compare faces method here, and it takes in an array of encodings, but since I only have one, I'm going to pass in just the array with one encoding. And I'm also going to pass in the current face encoding from the frame that I'm using. Now this is going to return the matches, if there is any, basically. And we're going to set a variable in case there's none. We're going to set it as unknown face. But if there's any match, so if there's true in matches, then we're going to take the match and we're going to set the name as my name, Eli. Now on top of the for loop, we're going to add an empty array in which we're going to push or append the names, in this case either unknown or Eli, depending on what came out. Finally, we're just going to display, we're going to modify a bit the frame. So we need to take the top, right, bottom, left, and the name from the face locations and the face names accordingly. And we're going to use opencv. Well, first we need to resize it back, because remember it was a fourth of the size. So I'm going to put I'll multiply it by 4. Once I do this, I'm going to start using opencv to draw the boxes around the different faces that it recognizes. To do this, I'm just going to use the rectangle function, pass in a couple parameters. So these parameters are the left location, top location, right location, and bottom location of the face. And I'm also going to pass in the color, which is, I'm just going to pick red. Then we're going to add another rectangle. This is going to be for the name displayed. So we're going to do almost the same. We're going to locate it to the bottom of the rectangle. Same red, but this time we're going to fill it up. The one on top is not filled. And finally, we're going to add the text. So I'm going to use the put. Well, first I'm going to do the font, which is font Hershey duplex. That's just a regular font. And then I'm going to put the text in the second rectangle we created with the name that came out. You can play around with these. You can change the color, maybe change the size of the boxes, but these functions are just pretty standard. You can use them like this as well. Now let's go ahead and test it out. We run python main.py, and there I am, and there's the recognition of my face. As you can see, it's a bit slow. You can also do it with GPU power. You can use multi-core. If you want to see them, go ahead and hit the like button. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.